It gives you exactly how long of a piece you need to cut for this section. It also gives you a band height for this section over here, and then we'll just measure this section because it's pretty straight, okay? But it already gives you what the lengths are of the metal that we need, okay? When we do sidebars, we use aluminum sidebars, which I'm going to show you. It's called bar stock. It's back there. It's those long pieces of aluminum. When we do calf bands, we have the calf band, or the thigh bands, and we also do calf bands for AFOs, okay? These actually end up being round, so that's why it says 27 centimeters here, because we round it out, okay? This to this is not 27 centimeters, okay? This rounded over is 27 centimeters.
So this isn't the 3-bar.
3-bar is the
That's
actual.
the video on there,
Yeah, yep. So he shows you how to contour,
Yeah.
right? This is what we're contouring, okay?
Yeah.
The 3-bar ends up being your exam afterwards, okay? This thin stuff right here, see how it's not as wide? This is what you use for the sidebars, okay? They're both aluminum, so it's easier to contour and it's faster to contour, okay? You guys are not going to use this to cut. You guys are going to use a hacksaw because you need to get used to it. Not all places have one of these, okay? Okay, you're going to have these rough edges. Go to the shoe machine. Aluminum isn't going to create spark, okay? Go to the shoe machine and just kind of bevel these down because you don't want to cut yourself. Or, I mean, if you don't like getting your gloves cut up, it'll cut your gloves up too, even if it's not that sharp, okay? Before you start anything, okay? So there are multiple ways to do this. Some people, because when we put this together, we want it to be flush, okay? So that means you don't want to contour anything on this bar that touches the sidebar, on the sidebar that touches this. If you contour any of this part right here that's touched together, it's never going to sit flush against each other, okay? Most common mistake for first-year students is they try to contour or they mess up and forget and contour this section that's supposed to stay straight, okay? That means both sides of this, okay? Because you're gonna have two sides. They have to stay straight. So there are two ways that you can go about doing this. Some people take their pen and they mark it, but guess what? Is the pen super bright and you see it, or do you think that most students probably forget that it's there and then end up contouring it? Okay, so I always give the same demo, and maybe 2 students listen to it and do the way that I do it. The rest of them don't and end up contouring this, okay? So the way I do this, because I will get sidetracked and I will forget and I will end up contouring, is I go get masking tape. Right here, because that's where that lines up, okay? And then I'm going to follow it and tape where it lines up on this side. Now I know not to contour here, okay? Then I'm gonna take tape. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna contour this sidebar. So to do that, I need something you don't have. So you're gonna set this up in your vise. You can either use this, or you can use.
It's this.
Is that just a contouring fork? Is it just like a one?
It goes in the vise, okay, and you can contour using that. Okay. Did someone say they have contouring forks in their drawer? Can I get one? Contouring fork. So when we contour, we don't want sharp edges. These two have sharp edges. You have to be a little more careful when you contour with these. All right. This has a nice rounded edge. Okay. You're gonna see one size is thicker or wider than the other. I would highly recommend you using the side that is narrower, okay, for this stuff. It fits nicer on the metal, it contours nicer. So, if I put this up to the schema like this, right, I know that this top section has got to stay straight, correct? But if you look at the schema, it bends in. So what I want to do is take this and contour it ever so slightly inward, okay? Most people can contour aluminum with their hand. I don't really use the contouring fork often, unless I really need to get a very small contour, because this will torque it just ever so slightly, okay? So when I take this, I'm gonna pinch here, and I know that it needs to come back towards me. So this is gonna come down. The number one thing you have to worry about in these is make sure your fork is level. And then when you put your material in here, you want to make sure it is parallel to your bench. If you go like this, it's going to contour it at a torqued angle, okay? You want to make sure it is either perpendicular with the fork, okay, if your fork is lined up properly, or if your fork is not, or if your fork is lined up properly, it can either be parallel with the table or perpendicular to this. If your fork is a little bit off, just make sure it's perpendicular to what this is. Everybody knows what perpendicular is? Yeah, 90-degree angle. So if I need to start this contour right where this tape ends, then I'm going to put this edge right where the edge of that fork is. Then I'm going to take it. Everybody pay attention when you move it. It's going to slide on you. Make sure that it is perpendicular to that fork or parallel to the table when you pull. Okay, I'm going to pull ever so slightly. See the bend? Okay, now that tiny little bend, I'm going to line up here. Well, that bend was almost exactly where I needed to, not exactly. Okay, so for bends like this that are pretty sharp, the other thing you can do, and I'll show you on the other side of this, what I could have done, and I'm just going to flatten this out real quick. Okay, flatten it out for the most part. Just a nice little. So if I want to contour that tight little angle, what I can do is put this in there, make sure it's perpendicular to this anvil, or to the vise. Crank that down. I can either do it with my hands, or I can take my contouring fork, and if I just give it ever so slight pressure, it's going to do it at a much sharper angle, because your vise is at a sharper angle, okay? So now I can put that back up here again, and as you can see, I overdid it, right? Doesn't line up, okay? So all I'm gonna do is take this, shoot it back in there. Might as well use my fork. Take a little bit out. Put this back up here. See how it follows the line perfect? Okay? But that whole time, I didn't do anything with this, right? Okay? So now I have this ever so slight angle right here. That's not enough as a technician for me to really worry about. So, those of you with the cameras, can you guys see it at this angle? This line right here, right? It comes back this direction, right? Well, I can't really put it in the vise anymore because this has a curve to it, correct? Okay. The only way I could do it is to mark this precisely right here. Then I could put it in the vise, right? And this needs to be away. So if I put this back in the vise, as long as I have enough, which I do, put this back in the vise.
And where did you mark it? At like the apex?
It's right here. Right where this, right where that turn starts. Okay? I'm actually gonna pull this out just a little bit because I need to start that turn there And if it doesn't, if I don't have it pulled out just a little bit, it's gonna start it a little bit after, okay? So I know that this one comes in and this one needs to go the opposite direction. So if this one's facing in, then I'm gonna turn this the opposite direction. Needs to go just a little bit further. Where's my work at?
Are we supposed to mark the other side with masking tape too?
Yes and no, because you don't exactly know how long it's going to be yet,
Okay.
because you have the turns.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to push just a little bit harder. I'd be okay with that. Then what you would do is you mark the edge and you would take a hacksaw and you would saw this down, your edge
Where
down.
it finishes at the schema.
Exactly. Okay, where it ends at the schema. Okay, sidebars are the easy part. This is not easy. These are terrible. Okay. Try not to be wasteful. So, what I need to do is make this so that it is angled like a perfect arch, okay? Because it's gotta go around the person's thigh, all right? So to do that, we have these little things down here, okay? They're nice little rounded edges. There's a reason for these on your bench, okay? They're not just there as keychains, all right? So what I'm gonna do, again, we cannot contour this. So when I contour, I need to make sure that that tape part is all the way past this. If you need to come around and see because you can't see it, come around and see because you can't see it. Two ways to do this. You can do it with your hands or you can use a fork. I prefer to do it with my hands, okay? These are small contours at a time at first. So small bends, again, staying perpendicular with the floor. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So we know that I have more of a contour here on this side than I do here. So I'm gonna work this side a little bit. Pull it out. All right, now I need to come back to this side, right? Okay. Making sure I'm not contouring anything that I'm not supposed to. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're not there at all, okay? But we're getting somewhere. The goal is I should be able to put this on here and here, and it's going to sit straight up and down so that I can attach this to this and then the other side, okay? So I'm still gonna work it out. So I need to pull some out of this a little bit. This knot angled just a slight bit over here. Yeah?
So that also has
Okay, say this lined up here and then you had this inner edge lining up right here. So say this side is perfect, this side is like this, okay? Lines up this direction. So I have to put it in here. And I'm going to pull, making sure that I'm not torquing this section. And every time I'm gonna line it up to make sure that I'm in the right spot. And it should line up like that. Say it was perfect. I'm not gonna take up all you guys' time.